Let's rewind the clock. Before the tiaras, the royal exits, the tell-all interviews, and the Netflix cameras rolling, Meghan Markle was not the Duchess of Sussex. She was simply Meghan, a Hollywood actress fighting for her spotlight, but not just any actress. She was Rachel Zane on Suits, the paralegal with brains, beauty, and a perfectly tailored pencil skirt that made viewers tune in every week. The sass, the quick comebacks, and the will they won't they romance with Mike Ross. For Meghan, this was her it girl moment, her origin story, the chapter she hoped people would remember forever. But now, that story is being rewritten, and not by her. Enter Lady Colin Campbell, a woman often described as an aristocratic hurricane wrapped in pearls, famous for spilling tea hotter than Buckingham Palace could ever handle. Only this time, Lady C isn't pointing her sharp tongue at the royals. She's turned her focus back to Meghan's pre-palace days, and what she's saying doesn't sound like the rom-com fairy tale Meghan wants the world to believe. In fact, it sounds more like Mean Girls Legal Edition. According to Lady C, and let's be honest, this woman doesn't breathe without claiming to have a source or three, Meghan allegedly ruled the Suits set like a one-woman monarchy. Forget the grateful up-and-coming actress, crew members reportedly described someone who walked in like she already owned the room and wanted everyone else to know it. And it wasn't just one whisper. Lady C insists she's spoken to multiple cast and crew members who use the same phrase over and over again. Mean girl. Not diva. Not difficult. Mean girl. The kind of woman who could dazzle on camera, flashing that warm smile for millions of viewers, then turn ice cold the second the director yelled, "Cut." The kind who, in just 5 seconds, could size you up and decide whether you were worth her attention or invisible. And this is where things get messy. Meghan's entire brand after leaving the palace has been built around a single story. I was misunderstood. I was mistreated. I stood up for myself when the world tried to tear me down. She painted herself as the underdog who rose above cruelty. But what if, long before the royal drama, Meghan was the cruelty? What if the kindness and resilience narrative she's been selling isn't the full picture? One crew member recalled Meghan's ability to make a room go silent when she was upset. "You didn't need to be told she was angry, you felt it," the insider said. Another even joked you could set your watch by her silent treatments. Worse, Lady C claims Meghan built her own private inner circle on set. If you were in, you got the smiles, the inside jokes, the warmth. If you were out, you'd be lucky to get eye contact, let alone conversation. Still think it's gossip? Here's the problem. Suits is suddenly hot again, thanks to Netflix and Peacock. A whole new audience is binge-watching Rachel Zane, and this time they're doing it with Lady C's allegations in the back of their minds. And once you start watching through the lens of a mean girl, every smirk, every line, every perfectly arched eyebrow starts to feel different. But the real storm was only beginning. Because Lady C wasn't finished. Not even close. Behind the glossy reruns and glowing nostalgia for Suits, a darker narrative is brewing. Lady Colin Campbell isn't just tossing vague accusations. She's dropping specifics, and in Hollywood, specifics are deadly. One source claimed Meghan had a way of changing the energy in a room with nothing more than a look. If she was upset, the air turned heavy. Conversations slowed. Crew members joked that her moods were so predictable, you could literally set your watch by the silent treatment. Another insider recalled how Meghan allegedly operated with a clear social hierarchy. She created her own private inner circle, and if you weren't inside it, you were effectively invisible. Eye contact? Forget it. A warm word? Not likely. To some, it wasn't confidence, it was exclusion. And here's the twist. Meghan's post-royal brand has been carefully built on kindness, empathy, and female empowerment. Every interview, every speech, every polished documentary has leaned into that theme. Resilience, truth, compassion. But Lady C's revelations poke holes in that image. Because if the actress behind Rachel Zane was already cultivating a reputation for coldness and manipulation, what does that say about the woman preaching empathy today? This isn't just about gossip anymore. It's about credibility. And timing couldn't be worse. Suits has roared back to cultural relevance thanks to Netflix and Peacock. New fans are discovering it, old fans are rewatching, and suddenly Rachel Zane is everywhere again. But this time, audiences aren't just watching. The character. They're dissecting the actress. Every smirk, every perfectly delivered line feels tainted when paired with whispers of diva behavior behind the camera. Worse still, Meghan's team knows it. PR insiders say her camp has gone into full-blown crisis mode, because Lady C isn't just another gossip columnist. She has access. Royal circles, Hollywood sources, social elites. When she speaks, people listen, and more importantly, people start talking. Then came the first bombshell anecdote, the infamous chair story. According to Lady C, a background actor made the mistake of sitting in Meghan's designated chair between takes. Instead of brushing it off, Meghan allegedly walked up, coolly remarked, "I think you're in the wrong seat, darling," and had the chair removed entirely. When that story hit the internet, it went nuclear. Not because it was shocking in scale, but because it was so specific. Too specific to feel fabricated. Within hours, memes flooded social media. Chairgate, they called it. TikTok clips, sarcastic captions, fan edits of Rachel Zane demanding her chair, all went viral. And here's the danger with stories like this. Once the audience buys into one petty rumor, every other whisper suddenly feels believable. Did Meghan really ask directors to rewrite co-stars' lines after they received too much praise? Did she slow down production with lighting demands? Did she secretly keep score of who got more screen time? None of it has been confirmed. None of it has been firmly denied either. And in Hollywood, silence is louder than any denial. Because here's the real problem. Meghan's former castmates aren't rushing to defend her. Not a single co-star has come forward with a statement saying, "She was wonderful to work with." No warm memories, no casual tweets, no Instagram tributes. Just silence. And in this industry, silence speaks volumes. The whispers are growing louder. The memes are multiplying. And Meghan's team? They're running out of moves. But Lady C wasn't done. She was about to drop a story so chilling, it would turn whispers of diva behavior into something far more dangerous. If the chair incident lit a spark, Lady Colin Campbell's next claim poured gasoline on the fire. During a TV appearance, she told a story that froze even seasoned Hollywood insiders. According to her sources, Meghan once had a co-star's lines rewritten after the director praised them too much during rehearsals. Days later, that actor's big moment vanished. The scene was trimmed, their dialogue cut, and the spotlight that had briefly shone on them was suddenly gone. Coincidence? Maybe. But once again, the story was just specific enough, and just believable enough, to stick. For fans already skeptical, it painted a brutal picture, a woman unwilling to share the stage with anyone else. And then came what the internet now calls the guest star sabotage. According to Lady C, Meghan privately complained to producers about a guest actor who was gaining too much attention. She allegedly claimed the performer was disrupting her rhythm on set. The producers didn't buy it. The guest star stayed. But a few weeks later, their screen time shrank. Jokes disappeared. Scenes were rewritten. Their name slid further down the call sheet. Whether true or not, the damage was done. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't just about mood swings or cold shoulders. It was about control, about calculated moves that could shape or sink someone else's career. Diva behavior is one thing. Sabotage? That's something entirely different. Even longtime fans who had defended Meghan through the royal drama found themselves hesitating. Because if Lady C's version of events was even half true, it meant Meghan wasn't just difficult. She was strategic. She was ruthless. And in Hollywood, that line between ambition and cruelty is razor thin. Meanwhile, the internet was running wild. Meme accounts labeled her Queen of Compassion with sarcastic captions. Clips of Rachel Zane taking charge in court were paired with biting overlays. Lighting check commander and scene stealer. Threads on X picked apart old cast interviews like crime scene analysts, zooming in on awkward pauses, side glances, and jokes that suddenly sounded like warnings. Still, Meghan's team didn't retreat. Instead, a glossy magazine feature appeared, conveniently timed. It quoted unnamed friends describing Meghan as thoughtful, generous, the kind of person who baked cookies for cast and crew. But to many, It felt too polished, too curated, as if her PR team were frantically trying to patch bullet holes with glitter. And here lies the danger. It's not that people won't believe Meghan could be kind. It's that now they don't know what to believe. The contradictions are piling up, and nothing erodes trust faster than the suspicion of hypocrisy. Lady C, for her part, seemed entirely unfazed. Sitting elegantly in her television chair, she delivered her sharpest line yet, with a sly smile. She plays the victim so convincingly, because she's had so much practice. That one quote spread like wildfire. It became the tagline, the meme caption, the clip replayed in endless reaction videos, and Meghan's silence only made it stronger. But the most unsettling part wasn't Lady C's aristocratic snark. It was the silence from Suits alumni. No co-star, no director, no costume designer stepped forward to defend her. Just polite distance. Some posted vacation selfies, others promoted new projects, but none wanted to touch the fire. And in Hollywood, silence isn't neutral. It's a statement. The storm was reaching its peak, and Meghan's carefully constructed brand, kindness, empathy, resilience, was showing cracks that even her best PR couldn't repair. But Lady C had one final card to play, and when it hit the headlines, it would change the narrative forever. By the time Lady Colin Campbell teased her final story, the internet was already on fire. The memes, the think pieces, the fan theories, they weren't slowing down. They were accelerating. And Meghan's silence, paired with the silence of her Suits co-stars, only fanned the flames. The last allegation was perhaps the most damning of all. Lady C claimed Meghan had once complained privately about a fellow actor who was quickly becoming a fan favorite. Producers ignored her concerns, but not long after, the actor's role was quietly reduced. Jokes cut, punchlines trimmed, screen time gone. The implication was chilling. This wasn't about personality clashes or diva quirks. It was about power. About someone willing to move chess pieces to ensure she remained the center of the board. Diva behavior can be forgiven. Calculated sabotage, that sticks forever. And here's the brutal truth. This narrative didn't survive because of Lady C alone. It survived because of the internet. Meme accounts branded Meghan the mean girl of Suits. Fan pages dissected old clips, hunting for micro-expressions like detectives examining evidence. Even casual viewers joined in, watching Suits through a darker lens. Suddenly, every smirk looked smug. Every eyebrow raise looked like a warning. Meghan's team tried to fight back. A glossy PR campaign emerged. Anonymous friends describing her generosity, claims she baked cookies, wrote thank you notes, supported everyone around her. But instead of rebuilding her reputation, it only fueled skepticism. The timing felt too convenient, too rehearsed, like someone desperately trying to rewrite history before the internet finished writing it for them. And that's the real danger. Meghan Markle's post-royal brand was built on empathy, resilience, and authenticity. But if her past whispers cruelty, manipulation, and hierarchy, then the foundation cracks. In an industry where image is currency, instability is fatal. Once people sense hypocrisy, when your words don't match your actions, they don't just lose trust, they feel betrayed. Lady C's most devastating strike wasn't a long story or a complex accusation, it was a single line delivered with an aristocratic smile. She plays the victim so convincingly because she's had so much practice. That quote became the scandal's anthem. Shared, memed, repeated, until it defined the narrative. And Meghan? She offered no direct response. Not one former co-star rose up to counter it. The silence was deafening. In Hollywood, silence is never neutral. It's a statement. And in this case, it's the loudest statement of all. Now Meghan faces a brutal reality. The label mean girl may be impossible to shake. Not because the stories are proven fact, but because perception has already hardened into belief. In the age of social media, truth is less powerful than vibes, receipts, and viral moments. And once the public decides who you are, rebranding becomes nearly impossible. So the question lingers, is Meghan Markle truly the misunderstood underdog she's claimed to be? Or is Lady C's version, the cold, calculating mean girl of Suits, the one the world will remember. One thing is certain, the internet has already made up its mind, and in this digital age, that verdict spreads faster than any palace scandal ever could. And now I'll ask you, do you think Meghan's brand can survive this storm? Or has the mean girl label already sealed her fate forever? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is one royal narrative rewrite the world won't forget anytime soon.